Mulder, it's me. Mulder, it's me. Mulder, it's me. Mulder, it's me. Are you there? Mulder, it's me. 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 Mulder, it's me.
Hey, fun fans, it's We Enjoy. We've got the first news and use of the 2026 year of the horse, I believe. Speaking of horses, Eric Goldman currently still has his mom, or has once again his mom's cat. So, which may be causing a few disruptions during this podcast. We are the Mattitude Eric. I am Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric, mom's cat, Goldman.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, she really, really aggressively likes to be on my keyboard and in my face while I'm doing anything. Love her, but driving me a little crazy. Year of the Horse, Matt, at Disneyland, they'll always do the Lunar New Year celebration at California Adventure every year. And so I'm Year of the Rabbit. And so,
well, Eric, we're both Year of the Rabbit.
Of course, yes. But you weren't at California Adventure with me.
I am also Year of the Rabbit, aka Year of the Hare.
Yes. But so they have this jacket, which I got I do
like jackets.
A very loud but fun jacket for Year of the Rabbit that had a bunch of rabbit characters. So Judy Hopps on it, had the White Rabbit, had someone else I'm forgetting, Disney, rabbit characters. Trish was very upset last year because she's Year of the Snake, and there was like very minimal Year of the Snake specific imagery. And I realized that, for snakes going into the year, you had Ka, who's a bad guy, obviously, but we hadn't met Gary yet. And I think Disneyland Shanghai actually went big on Gary imagery, even though he was a year away. But here at California Adventure, they didn't do that. So
for those listening who don't readily know those names, Ka is from Jungle Book, and in the live action version was voiced by ScarJo. And if you didn't see Zootopia 2, which seemingly you probably did because it's now the biggest animated movie of all time, which is news we kind of skipped over the past 2 weeks, is voiced by Kihei Kwan.
Yes.
Is Gary the Snake in that movie.
Biggest American animated movie.
Not the Chinese ones that seem to make like $3 billion.
Well, there's just the one that's the actual biggest movie still of 2025. I forget what it was.
It's a sequel, right? Isn't it something 2?
Yes, it was Neja 2. Neja 2. But yes, Gary.
When Neja 2 box office gold, where they're like, seems like Neja 2 is having a little deja vu.
Whoa.
They can use that for free. That's just for them. They can use that. I won't charge a dime. We said we were going to skip 1 week, and we skipped 2 because, it was just the holiday. And also that week was the week that doesn't count as a week or days at all, between Christmas and New Year's. And there wasn't a lot of entertainment news happening. We did have some write-ins, but those can carry over, and they did. So we're going to do those. But yeah, we do have some entertainment news to catch up on. I want to start with one of the write-ins because it's tied to Stranger Things, and then we'll kick things off with that. Sean writes in, and this is related to our Stranger Things Hudson Hawk breakout episode. Don't ask about his politics. Obsessed with guns, showed little to no emotion when Will came out. Nancy grew up to work in the Trump White House. This is Sean's theory that Nancy went full MAGA and is now one of the pawns of fascism. But at the end, Sean, she's working for the Herald. She's going to be a journalist.
I don't
know.
And Emerson College posted a thing about her as an alumni about Nancy. And they actually added lore. This was the real secret episode because they said she eventually returned and got her degree, and they listed her as a class of 2019.
Oh man, that wasn't even in the crawl at the end. That wasn't even it wasn't even like a Animal House style, Ridgemount High style, like catching up with people with text.
Real Stranger Things fans followed the Emerson alumni socials, and so they got that information.
What's written here in the docket for Stranger Things, and it's wrapped up, it had its finale, it was huge, and we talked about that on our breakout episode, and I have a few regrets about that breakout episode because I feel like I directed the conversation way too much toward the obsessives and way too much toward the online discourse. And because it was just bugging me when we recorded it and we could have talked about the actual episode more, I realized there was not a lot of Derek content in that episode.
There was,
and
we never said the name Derek.
I did. I actually said Derek.
You did?
I said,
You
how did
did?
Trish feel about the episode ending with Derek talking about farts?
See, I didn't remember you. I only thought you said talking about farts, so I thought, well, like,
so maybe I mentally inserted Derek in there because he's just a walking fart. But it was very light on, if not maybe possibly Derek free content. But you wrote here, Stranger Things fans go crazy, because we have a couple things to talk about it in the wake of the finale. I want to start by saying I don't like using the term fans I feel like, I'm not going full Vince McMahon and being like, they're the Stranger Things universe, but I'm saying like, is it right to call, like, if we're talking about the toxic elements of a fandom, I don't think it's part of a fandom anymore. I don't think these are fans anymore. When obsessives sounds better to me, because when you're more fixated on the negative aspects and complaining and criticizing and conspiracy creating, and not an actually fan and like not anticipating enjoyment or reveling in enjoyment, I don't think you're a fan anymore. I think the fan has, like, as a term, has become way too broad. But anyway, yes, they did go crazy. Eric, can you please explain, since you are a touch more online with discourse elements than I am, what conformity gate is and what the whole fucking bullshit secret extra episode thing?
I'm not. I only know it lightly in that I was aware of it.
Damn it! I wanted you to know it deeply and
well, I couldn't tell you all this. It just, if you can't, again, it really shows you, and if you watch these cult documentaries and stuff, and it's like, well, how would anyone fall for this? But then you see how easy it is for people just to believe whatever they want to believe. Yeah. Or what they think someone's telling them what they want to hear. So yeah, there became this whole thing that there was a secret extra episode of Stranger Things with that there was an extra episode that was coming. It was coming on, I think, January 7th.
Despite the episode being, the finale being talked about as like, it wasn't Return of the King-esque, but it sure did have a long epilogue, right? Like, it had endings.
Well, and more than that, think about the fact that how heavily promoted it was, how they did national theatrical screenings, like how much they eventized it. But no, this was that they were planning to surprise drop an extra episode, and not because here's the only realistic version of this is. I don't know if anyone ever saw or remembers when Lost put out its final season DVD and Blu-ray, and they had a little short about what happened to Walt. It was like kind of, it did a little thing about here's what happened to Walt, because we never saw him again. If Stranger Things had something like that, I could buy it. Like a little side quest, here's a little fun bonus.
I would even like it to have been, if they did that, I wanted it to be about the new kids.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't need. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but this wasn't that. This was saying the ending we saw wasn't really the ending. It went into a whole conspiracy about, this character didn't die and this didn't happen in here. This is Vecna still is going to do this. And so it was that the ending was fundamentally going to change, that there was going to, and of course it was just fueled by people who don't like the ending. And then there was supposedly some site with like a hidden countdown clock. None of it added up. None of it was, real. People were already looking into it and saying that this countdown clock thing just went up. This isn't attached to Netflix, all this stuff. But people really, 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 really kept posting about it and thinking it's real and saying this is what's going to happen. And it is a bizarre thing, because what you're saying, Matt, about, like, when do you cross the line of not even being a fan? Because I get some pushback sometimes when I bring up stuff about like Stranger Things or other things where people lose their shit about, hey, can't a fan have criticisms? And it's like, of course.
But at what point are you hate? Okay. So again, it's like somebody who obsesses over, like, again, if you obsess over something that you don't like and are just criticizing, it's not a fan.
No.
It's something else. I don't know. Come up with your own term, but you're not a fan.
Yeah.
Right?
If you all you do is post that it's horrible in every way, that everything about it. And obviously we see this, look, Star Wars is filled with this, right? People will say, I'm a true fan, and that's why I've hated every single thing of Star Wars in the past decade, to which point you go, why haven't you stopped watching Star Wars? And like, but because I'm a fan, I'm gonna keep watching it and hating every single thing that happens.
No, you're a secret third thing. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah.
Some might even say just a hater, right? Like
Right,
the
right.
actual second thing. So
Yeah, because I do not, look, I like the Stranger Things finale. If someone, I'm sure there are fans out there who said I love Stranger Things, I was really disappointed in that finale. I hated that finale. All valid, totally valid. But there's this extra level of, yeah, both the people who were already hate watching for a long time to the point that they shouldn't even be watching anymore because what are they doing? But also the
they're making
people
content is
they're
what they're
making
doing.
content, but also this craziness that they would let themselves be deluded into the idea that because it didn't go the way I wanted it to, because look, there's so many things that don't go the way I want them to, but I'm not gonna like create this fiction that there's
Well,
something
even
else can
CM
happen.
Punk has now sounded off on all of this because I mean, this is something that maybe wrestlers and wrestling promoters have been dealing with before everyone went nuts about TV and movies in this way, which is that everyone wants to be, he said something, I'm paraphrasing, everyone wants to be angry about everything. It's talking about the Stranger Things finale because things don't, they fantasy booked it in their heads. And that's something that, as we talk about in wrestling quite a bit, which is like when you, right now, people are thinking about WrestleMania and they're thinking about the matches that should happen. And then they not only do they book those matches in their head, they book the finishes.
Yeah.
And like when those matches don't even happen, when the card is completely different, then they get all upset because it's not what's in their head. And this is not for decades with wrestling, but it's, I don't want to say it's new, but it's newer to TV and movies and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see where or why he was asked about it, but I do think I know he's got some vampire movie coming out, so maybe it was during the press for that.
He's been
But
doing press for
anyway,
that, and I saw he was sounding off on a lot of pop culture stuff doing interviews. So
there you
yeah,
go.
I'm guessing it came up there. But yeah, it was really bizarre, and we're in this strange place with it where I'm like, I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Well, maybe you aren't ready for serialized television. Like if
Maybe
it's
you
just,
should watch. Yeah, maybe you should. Yeah, maybe you should just watch some House MD. Maybe some
that's
good.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
That still might be too much. I don't know. Yeah,
It
this
might
is
be. It might be.
yeah, this is just it's okay to not like something.
Some
People.
Quincy. Some Quincy.
Oh
Wasn't your mom
yeah,
on Quincy? Yeah.
twice. My mom was
Yeah.
on Quincy
Okay.
twice. Yeah,
Twice Carol Goldman starring Quincy,
two
also
different
MD, I
roles.
believe. Yeah.
She
Watch that.
played
Watch a 70s procedural.
she played a nurse, and then she played a mother screaming at like a teenage girl whose boyfriend died in a car accident that you killed him, you killed my son, blaming this girl who was grieving herself. I don't know if they came to terms
Well,
on that.
was it her fault?
I
Like,
don't
did she
know.
do
I
it?
don't remember.
I don't know. Well, ask your mom. Ask your mom. Yeah. So anyway, the question is: Are Stranger Things? Is the Stranger Things universe okay? The answer is no. That
No,
it's not at all.
they're not.
Now, Eric, is the Avengers universe okay? Probably not. Also, but the MCU has had this type of turmoil for a bit longer. Doomsday teasers. Can we talk about the fourth one, or should we just keep it to the
Yes,
three?
because here's the funny thing. When we talked about the first one, I was really surprised you didn't want us to talk about Steve Rogers being in it. I was like, oh, he's trying to protect this.
I
Because
am a
thought
little bit.
I haven't seen the fourth one, but I've seen, it's been impossible to avoid any of the spoilers. I'm going to go see it in the theater today, but you can also talk about the Wakandans and the Thing, because I've read it. It's been impossible
Right,
to
right.
avoid. Namor, there he's in there too. Yeah.
Namor. So anyway, everyone's mad about everything and will be forever. And
But they were pretty fucking psyched on that X-Men teaser.
they were, and I wonder if it's just a lot of also Scott Summers' reclamation, right?
It's
Because he was
sure.
done so dirty and he didn't show up in X-Men and Deadpool and Wolverine, and like having Marsden back in this role with like what looks to be like a super powerful optic blast that could obliterate like a building.
And wearing the Jim Lee costume, wearing the
Yeah.
animated series costume. Yeah.
So that's a big part of it too. Like, am I as excited to see like super old Charleston and Eric Lensher? Not really, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, it is fun. And actually, I'm going to tangent into a quick. Okay, Curtis wrote in. Hey guys, this is Curtis from Seattle. Happy 2026. I look forward to another great year of enjoying with you. I had a discussion topic come to mind in the light of recent box office successes and certain Avengers trailers coming out back in early 2022. I was talking with my friend, led to a long-standing bet. We were about to see Batman on the opening weekend. We got to talk about X-Men and the future movies under the MCU banner. To sum it up, we ended up betting on a box office returns for the first official MCU X-Men movie whenever it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
This means the first MCU branded movie as X-Men. My friend and bet it would make over $1 billion. I bet it would make less than $1 billion. But and Curtis explains this just because it's harder for movies to reach $1 billion
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't know. We're not going to make a bet, Curtis, but I'm with your friend. I think it'll make over $1 billion just out of X-Men and curiosity.
I think the fan
especially
base...
if it's good. Especially if it's good. Yeah.
Yes. I think most of us are on the same page, which is that we already like we know they're developing X-Men. Jake Schreier's directing it. It directed Thunderbolts. I also think, and I think most of us think, after Secret Wars, that's going to be the next giant thing. Will they call it the the mutant saga? I don't know, but they are going to go massive on X-Men and all the possibilities of X Factor, X Force, New Mutants, everything they can do is possible. And I do think that first movie will be a big deal, that it'll be, and that there is such love for X-Men. This isn't launching a title like Thunderbolts or like Shang-Chi that's like, people are like, I don't really know these guys. Is X-Men.
Or even Guardians, which no one knew at first, right?
Yeah. This is X-Men. There'll be a lot of excitement. We have already seen I saw a lot of people, Matt, even with that X-Men teaser, begrudgingly, because they like to be like, it's just nostalgia, it's just pandering, it's just fan service, go, God damn it, this got me. So we'll get the nostalgia with this, I say final in air quotes because we've said goodbye to, yes, it's funny that how we've said goodbye to these X-Men many times, but they're going to be in this movie and probably in Secret Wars, and then we're going to get the actual MCU new X-Men. I think it'll be a huge deal. Will it make $1 billion or not? I don't know, but it'll come goddamn close if it doesn't, I think.
And it's going to have like a new cast,
yes,
right? Like, and some of those people will be known people. Like, it's not going to be all fresh faces, but so that'll draw some people in.
We'll know by then if Sadie Sink is Jean Grey or not, since that continues to be a prevalent rumor. But
we'll find out how old they'll all be. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like Fan Four Stick, or is it going to be like some are older, some are younger, and big mix? So we'll find that out. Anyway, what did you want to specifically talk about the Doomsday teasers? Like, just name them. Like,
I wanted
Steve Rogers, and then everyone now all of a sudden not wanting Steve Rogers to be back. And it wasn't always the plan.
Just mention that they're now that they're all out. I know the fourth one is only in theaters at the moment. Obviously, they've all leaked. The fourth one will be online by Tuesday, which has been the schedule. Just to say, I think that the main thing I'll say is that I think this has all worked like a charm. There's people that are like, this has really backfired on them because of the leaks and this and that. All of them, when they actually go up officially, do huge, but also people have been talking about Avengers Doomsday for a month now. Movie doesn't come out for a year. And also the fact that I think that they've been well played as far as the escalation, because that Steve Rogers one wasn't anything really cool or special. But again,
the Thor one, they're all pretty serene.
Well, but the
right?
Thor was better. Like the Thor was cooler. The Thor was like more ominous.
And it was notable because it seemed like a return to the Thor from the first two movies, for better or worse, whatever what your take on that is.
And yet it also returned to the look of short-haired Thor that Taika Waititi introduced. A lot of people like to forget that part, but I
like that.
No, I'm just saying that because now everything Taika did with Thor is horrible and awful, and we're not supposed to like anything.
I'm just saying, Thor was short hair good.
Because I saw people say he's back in his Infinity War look, and I was like, he got that look in Ragnarok, guys. No, I think that they've been actually very well done as far as like the escalation of like what's happening in them. And I think that they've gotten people talking more and more, and that X-Men one was obviously like kind of a very cool thing that, got people psyched. No pun intended.
And the new one, is basically the first continuation we've had of the Wakandan non-animated continuation we've had. Actually, the Eyes of Wakanda was not a continuation per se, though it did have a voiceover. Which is from Wakanda Forever meeting Ben Grimm. of Fantastic
Right,
Four.
which is, and the first time we're actually seeing any of the like cross universe, mixing
Stuff,
that we with obviously we think this movie will be filled with. Right now we get these little snippets of Alan Cumming is promoting The Traitors season 4, so he gets to talk about filming a scene with Pedro Pascal, and we go, ooh,
Yeah.
that's all we know.
And it's like, and I bamf, and he goes wee and stretches, and then I bamf again. Yeah, so those are the 4. What I want to know, and I want to ask you, Eric, when do you think we're going to see Spider-Man stuff?
Oh, well, if not before, it is funny that they didn't have a Christmas teasers given the movie is out this summer.
I'm saying like it's coming out half a year before December, the Avengers is, and we haven't seen anything. So
yeah, if I have to look at if Sony have a big movie between now. When is the Super Bowl? This is my big question. February 8th. We're going to see it by February 8th. We're going to see
in a
it,
month. Yeah,
we're going to see it by February 8th. Is the answer to my question. I don't know. I can't. Oh, Sony has 28 years later this month. Okay, these are my 2 predictions. It's either in theaters with 28 years later, The Bone Temple, or
so next week, or in a month. Okay,
next week or Super Bowl. Those are my one or the other.
You heard it here, third. Okay, so yeah, the Doomsday teasers. I liked them. They're got everyone talking. Steve Rogers as a kid, as a little baby. The whole thing about it being disrespectful to Sam is crazy. Also, give Sam a good movie. How about that?
Give Sam a good movie. I mean, again, obviously it sucks.
Give Sam a good movie and a good TV show. Don't just half-ass it.
It sucks that
some might already say they already disrespected Sam Wilson by not giving him, like the first not great Captain America movie, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and we just, again, we don't know what this movie actually is. We don't know what the story is. And so even the rumors that the leads are Doom and Steve, that doesn't mean everyone else is ignored, which is to say, we just mentioned the other day, it's like Hawkeye has a huge role in Age of Ultron. He's not the leads, it's like, that's the thing is like, they parse these out as they, see fit. Infinity War, like Steve and Natasha were barely in that movie. Like, I think they had such little dialogue in that movie. So even if Steve and Doom are the 2 leads, and I understand, I also am wary. I don't want all the newer characters to be pushed to the side, but we just don't know anything yet. We have to wait.
It's the biggest ensemble, and people are just worried about screen time and stuff like that.
Of course.
All right. Let's talk about a movie that the country may need right now, which was just announced, which is the 5th Jackass film is on its way, announced by Johnny Knoxville on Instagram. And he was like, hey, Jackass universe. That's not what he said, but he said that it's coming to theaters June 26th. So surprise Jackass coming our way.
Surprise Jackass. Surprise, it's Jackass in this, guys. What an interesting franchise in that I say, first of all, obviously it's not scripted. It's just watching these guys. And also this weird thing where the longer it goes on, the more we worry they'll die on screen, that these older guys are going to horribly injure themselves. But also the more heartwarming it gets, because it's just
because they're getting old and they're like, yeah. And it represents the passing of our time as we see them age, but also like they start looking back at their own lives and taking account of things. I hope this one brings people. I hope this is the sob fest of the year. I hope Jackass 5 I hope it leads the Oscar nominations in 2027.
And then there was a little bit of extra news on this. I always forget if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Bam Margera. Am I saying that right? Bam Margera.
It's or Margera. I don't remember.
Margera. Yeah. Anyway, who has had a lot of very sad, substance abuse battles in real life. Had a big rift with the Jackass guys that led him to not be in Jackass Forever. And he will be in this movie, although it's with previously shot material that they haven't released before. It's a strange little olive branch thing in that they made the agreement that they would even put that in the movie. Does that mean maybe he'll do like a wraparound with them or something if he's not doing new stunts? Who knows? But there's been, some drama, which, is also worrisome drama if you follow his life. And the other Jackass guys saying they hope he can be clean and stay clean. And even the battle over that sobriety, which apparently is why he wasn't in the 4th movie. But anyway, he will be sort of in this new one. And then we'll see exactly what that does, how they use that.
And then if he is, people will go, wham, bam, thank you, bam. And
they
then
will. That's
back when they used to actually have those actually print ads for for movies. When a movie does well, like opening weekend, they would have like a big touting, bragging sort of like ad in the calendar section or something. Anyway,
it's so weird. I just saw a commercial. I don't remember what it was for, and I know this isn't brand new. It just really is so funny when you see a commercial and it's got big quotes and they are literally Twitter randos. Like it's just someone screaming.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That is so funny. Like it's just it's almost just like the fact that they look at this like look at their name there. It's they're doing it.
Look at it. It's Jeff and he's doing stuff. We were just talking about ScarJo, but let's talk about Tangled because it's a movie she dropped out of. Scarlett Johansson was supposed to play
she didn't drop out. I think she just turned it down. I think they were like trying to get her, and then she.
Okay, either way, they wanted her. She said no, or said yes and then said no. Who knows what the story is? But she was considered for Mother Gothel, but now they are eyeing, orbiting Catherine Hahn for that role in the live-action Tangled film. But they have cast Rapunzel and Flynn and the babies, Tegan Croft and Milo Manheim.
Yes.
Are they from anything? I don't know.
Yes.
They're babies. So
Milo Manheim is in School Spirits, which Trish watches.
Is that on Netflix?
No. It's actually, the answer is somewhat convoluted. It is a Paramount Plus original that
where does it air?
Starring Peyton List from Cobra Kai. But where did it get most of its viewers is Paramount Plus licensing it to Netflix. So the new season still debut on Paramount Plus first. My God, this cat. But it's Netflix that kind of probably is keeping it alive. So he's on that. I knew him from that. Don't bite me. God damn it.
Yes, bite, chomp. Tear the flesh.
And he was in Thanksgiving. I remember him in Thanksgiving as the douchebag new boyfriend. Who does survive the movie. And then she was Raven on the Titans series. I never watched that show, but a lot of people know her as Raven from that show.
Oh, the DC streaming series?
Yes, the DC series. Right. But I will say that the Catherine Hahn thing is fun because it is one of the most notable fan castings that's happened in recent years in that people wanted her to play Mother Gothel for a couple of years now. It was like just something that people would post. She'd be perfect, especially after they saw her as Agatha. And then even to the point when I think the trades reported they were offering it to Scarlett Johansson, they're like, no, it's supposed to be Catherine Hahn. So then Scarlett Johansson turned it down, and now it is Catherine Hahn.
What if that's why Scarlett Johansson said that? She's like, no, it's supposed to be Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, that's who it's supposed to be. So,
idiots.
The internet got what it wanted, and it's not, but it's not toxic in this case. It's just
I don't know. I feel like at this point, giving the internet anything it wants, good or bad, is toxic and will lead to bad things. Few little notes catching up on 2025 news is that heard it from multiple listeners. Thank you for those who sent in the clip or just wrote in that I'm on vacation is from City Slickers.
It is,
which we just couldn't place.
We knew it. We knew it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know, but like it was just a memory hole. Okay.
I want to publicly acknowledge that Matt is a little sputtery. I haven't lost you completely, Matt. I just want to acknowledge that you're doing the sputtering thing.
All right. Maybe it's just because I'm not good at talking. Maybe I'm just like, maybe that's what you're hearing. It's not like actual frequency stuff at all. And then, I have a few more write-ins, but let's get to this there's two more news things. One is Batman, which is now, is this all confirmed? Variety says that Sebastian Stan is joining alongside Scarlett Johansson, who already joined the Batman 2. And there's speculation about him playing Harvey Dent, but that's just because somebody wrote in an article he would feel right as Harvey Dent. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I mean this is as confirmed as you get, in that all the trades are reporting it. I believe it is true. It is a true fact. Yes.
Not the Harvey Dent part, just the Sebastian Stan part.
Sebastian Stan is in the movie. Yes, it's reported.
And that the Joker is expected to return in, we don't know what capacity again. So I would like to think that anytime Batman in these new Batman movies puts a villain away, their next two Jokers sell and he just talks to them. And he just becomes their friend inside Arkham or wherever they are. Where were they? Were they in Arkham?
Oh, I think
necessarily in the Batman, or was it something else?
No, I think it was supposed to be Arkham.
Wasn't Blackgate or something? Okay.
No, I think it was Arkham. Yeah. So Sebastian Stan in it. Obviously, I understand why it will always get attention now when someone who has been a prominent part of the MCU or DCEU, the previous incarnation of the DCU, when they go to the other side, even though at this point, because there's been so many comic book movies, it's happened a lot. It'll happen more and more. And actors, they're not signed to exclusive deals these days, so they can do this. However, of course, you also it makes you go, is Sebastian Stan in Secret Wars? Is he free to, if he's free to do this, should we start speculating that he's not in Secret Wars? And then you start to wonder why that would be.
And also ScarJo as well. So yeah.
Well, ScarJo, but although again, as we've talked about, everyone can lie. Everyone can lie whenever they want. She has seemed the most adamant that she's done, like it's just that part of her life is over. Doesn't mean she can't be a liar. But she's felt a little more like she's like, yeah, I had fun doing that. I'm done doing that. Whereas Sebastian Stan, there's no reason for me to think him being in this movie necessarily means he can't play Bucky again. It doesn't work that way. However, just the scheduling wise, it raises some eyebrows. So that is the bigger thing. But we'll see.
It also feels like a full MCU takeover at this point. So that's the Batman 2 news. And then we've got some just fun, silly news of Tom Cruise visiting the set of Star Wars Starfighter and filming a lightsaber fight. For funsies, really. And I think Spielberg was there the week before. People are just dropping.
Well, and which is typical for a Star Wars set. That
see what's going on.
Yeah, people always. The drop bys is very typical, but now there's this extra thing of Tom Cruise apparently being a camera operator for a lightsaber fight, which also was a little bit of news in that there's a lightsaber fight because we didn't even know there'd be anyone.
So when I said filming a fight, he filmed. Yeah, he filmed it. So it's like he wasn't the one doing the lightsaber fighting, but he shot it.
He shot it. And this is actually, and also this is just interesting because Tom Cruise is never, it always feels like he'd be someone who it would naturally make the jump to becoming a director. He is so hands-on and without having the reputation, say, of Stallone, of like bullying, right? Like he doesn't have the reputation of like, there's no
shadow directing or
right.
Yeah.
But he is highly involved. We know in him and Macquarie have this huge partnership. And sometimes it does feel like, hey, why doesn't he just direct the movie? It feels like that's something, and he's produced for a long time. For whatever reason, he hasn't. But it was interesting to note that he operated the camera for an action scene in a Star Wars movie.
I'll say this for somebody who, unlike Stallone, somebody who is so embedded in the movie making process, he does give himself over to other auteur directors. Like he puts himself in the movie he's got coming out, which looks ridiculous at this point, but it might be great. Digger, like he wants to work with directors with a clear vision. It's not just like all a cut and paste journeyman director doing Tom Cruise's story. Like right. He wants to be a part of like big art projects. Yeah.
100%.
The other thing is that if you told me that one person on Earth was actually AI, I would think it was Tom Cruise. So that would he is so singularly focused and obsessive about movie making and blockbuster movie making and the movie going experience and eating popcorn and smiling at the screen. Like if you showed me a picture of him watching a movie and he had like an extra thumb, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. It's just like movie fan, like
he loves movies.
He does love movies and popcorn and movies and popcorn. Okay. Few write-ins here just to wrap things up for this section. Brian, this is from a few weeks back, but Brian writes, didn't care for Welcome to Derry, but I watched Castle Rock because of your recommendation and loved it. Happy holidays, fellas. Tim writes in, Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that, hey, I'm glad to hear it, because even though I'm sorry you didn't like Welcome to Derry more, Castle Rock's a cool show, and it's great. And it seemed like it was pretty underseen, given it only lasted 2 seasons. So I'm glad to hear some new people. And I think I mentioned to you, Matt, that people were bringing up Castle Rock a lot when Welcome to Derry
was
airing.
We talked about it, because I was arguing it was that Welcome to Derry was way more Castle Rock than the people who made Welcome to Derry were admitting to themselves.
And you were wrong about that, but yes, people were.
I wasn't because I'm still right. This is the hill, the Castle Rock, I should say, I will die on. Okay. Tim writes in, Happy New Year. Enjoy, boys. Hopefully this will make the cut for your first newsing news of 2026. Tim, it did. As you close out another year of podcasts, I wanted to thank you guys. There were some serious ups and downs for me in 2025, but your podcast was always something I could look forward to. This recap of MCU Phase 1 brings back memories of the years of speculation from after the opening weekend of Iron Man until the Avengers finally released, particularly on the old IGN Movies podcast. One of my favorite, ultimately incorrect theories was that the end of The Incredible Hulk with Banner's eyes glowing green would be the moment he had been mind controlled by Loki, which would lead into the Avengers forming to stop a brainwashed Hulk.
I like that.
Matt's mention of Thunderbolts during the last episode also reminded me of why I connected with that movie so much when I saw it in the summer. Long story short, I was going through a period of being really down. So I saw a story about flawed, broken people realizing they're capable of more good. And it really spoke to me, as did the climax where Bob had to defeat what's essentially the personification of his own negative self-image. Looking forward to seeing what other Sam Raimi films you've got covered after Darkman, Tim.
Tim, thank you for that very nice message, and really glad to hear that. Sorry you had a hard year, but I'm glad we could provide some breaks from that. And yeah, Thunderbolts, I totally agree. It's one of my favorite movies of last year, and I really love that it kind of does a different thing. I know it's easy to be like, all super movies are the same, and I'm not saying there's no sameness there. But I felt that one and its conclusion, and the way that they resolved their issues was really refreshingly different, and yeah, tapped into something I think a lot of people could relate to.
It didn't do that great monetarily, but I do think it came around at a great time when the battle cry of all superhero fatigue was at almost its highest.
Yes.
And then that movie hit, and it's sort of like, oh, you can have an A24 MCU movie, like you can have the monster is grief, like
yeah.
So
for sure. And then also going back to Doomsday for a second, just to say that, yeah, I mean, I think right now, again, the movie opens in December. I think they're doing a very good job of building up the hype. And it's going to be an interesting 2 years because this year, I say only, it's very funny. There's two MCU movies, and there's a Spider-Man movie and there's an Avengers movie, and they'll both probably be massive. And then I think the year after, because the only MCU movie in 2027 is Secret Wars. So there'll be another year of like building mega hype, but for just this one movie. And yeah, I think I think they're gonna be successful on that front, because I think people are already talking so much about Doomsday.
Final trailer for Wonder Man also hit, if you guys didn't catch it, and it's really fun. One last write-in. Ian writes in, when Eric, and this is a side note, when were we talking about David Bradley?
Well, he was in Captain America, so we talked about him.
Yes, the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. Ian writes in, just jumping in on one of Matt's lists, although I think it was Eric's list this time, but just to talk about David Bradley and his older years resurgence, and one of the roles he played. Now, I would normally end this email with where I'm from, but including this credit will call me out in its own right as a bucktooth Brit. David Bradley had the role of playing the first Doctor in Doctor Who, in a documentary about the show's beginnings, I think for some anniversary. Anyway, he went on to play the first Doctor in an episode, perhaps two. Hope you both have a wonderful new year. Thank you for the pod and keeping me entertained over the last decade, the passing of time. Ian from the UK.
Thank you for that, Ian. And I'm as someone who doesn't watch Doctor Who, but kind of is very aware of it. I remember when that happened, because obviously some of the oldest actors playing the Doctor had passed away. So he was, doing a role that someone else had played decades ago, but they did a very good job from what I saw, of having him look like that actor who played the first Doctor. There was a resemblance already there.
Wait, what was it? He was playing someone else?
Yeah, because he was playing the first Doctor.
Oh, and an anniversary. Now I understand the message. I was like, oh, he was the first Doctor Who. I see. He was playing. Got it.
Yes.
It's clicked for me now.
Yes, he was playing the first Doctor because that actor who was playing him in the 60s and was long dead.
Right. Okay.
But they did a good job. He already kind of looked like him, and they made him look properly like that guy. Again, I say this as the non-viewer, non-fan, so someone might say he looked nothing like him and he ruined the show. But I thought he looked pretty good.
He looked proper. Remember when MC Hammer tried to make that a catchphrase, proper? Remember
Oh,
when he
yeah.
drank Pepsi and he would go, proper.
Now that you
And it
say it, I do. Yeah.
did not work. Okay. Let's see. Write into us at weenjoypodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Discord or Blue Sky or whatnot or Instagram, and we'll try to catch it in our net and read it aloud on a Newsing News. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, please. And Eric, as we close things out, do you have a recommendation for people?
So yeah, I was thinking about this. I almost have too many because I did a lot of like end of the year, like catching up of like acclaimed
Yep.
movies and
As
things.
things hit, as if you can make it to theaters, or by the end of the year, also things hit streaming that you missed
Yeah.
throughout the year. Yeah, that's what I do.
So I saw Train Dreams in the theater and I cried like a baby.
Oh man, yes, I
Uh,
saw.
I saw Sorry Baby on HBO Max, which I thought was very good. The Testament of Anne Lee, which doesn't go wide until later this month, but I saw it in 70 millimeter. It is a limited release. I really like The Testament of Anne Lee, which does drag a little, maybe in its like midsection. But I really thought it worked. Testament of Anne Lee, starring Amanda Seyfried, however you to say her name.
Bullshit pronunciation.
Has
Yes.
Anne Lee, who is the person who brought the Shakers, the religious movement, the Shakers, to America, and was like a religious leader, and said she was the female reincarnation of Jesus Christ. And this is a really sort of interesting, evocative movie from the creators of The Brutalist, where same writers, but then Barry Corbett, he didn't direct this one. The co-writer of with him of The Brutalist, God, I want to say her name, so I'll look it up as I'm saying it. She directed this. Testament of Anne Lee is directed by Mona Fastvold, or Fastvold. And anyway, it's also a musical because it's taking like sort of the actual sort of music that the Shakers would do as part of their religion, and it's making it into kind of big musical numbers, and it's really good. And Lewis Pullman, the Sentry is in it, the Leader is in it, and the Foreigner is in it.
Please just tell us which MCU characters are in
Yes.
all movies. Yeah.
The Foreigner from Madam Web.
Oh yeah, or even the Spider-Verse, the Sony
Yes.
Spider.
But
movies,
Lewis
yeah.
Pullman has the biggest role. He plays her brother, and they have like a really nice relationship. And it's I really like that movie, and it looks great. And then The Traitors is
Wait,
back.
was Foreigner and Madam Web or Craven?
Oh, he's in Craven. I'm sorry.
Eric, come
I mean,
on.
her web connects them all. God damn it. The Traitors is back, and I'm excited. The Pit, I've seen the first 6 episodes of season 2 is back, and it's fucking great as usual. And those are my recommendations. Oh, you know,
what'd you say before the Pit?
The Traitors.
Oh yeah.
The Traitors. Oh, and then I'll mention very briefly that I watched not quite back to back, but I watched them back to back days. I watched Corey Feldman versus the World, and I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not. And very interesting double bill about people
just a whole lot of great and complicated people. Yeah.
Yeah, iconic parts of our childhood who are forever part of some beloved movies that will forever be some of my favorite movies, who've turned into insufferable douchebags. Both have really tragic childhoods. They talk about awful things happen to them, so you feel sympathy for them, and you also say, can you stop fucking being such a douchebag?
I would actually poke you a little bit about when you think it was that Chevy Chase turned into an insufferable douchebag, because I would think it would be actually 50 years ago. So
no. I think he always was. I'm saying, I mean, look, I can talk about it. It's like he talks about like being like, it sounds like he had like an abusive stepdad as a kid. I'm talking like childhood trauma that I'm like, you can be sympathetic to.
Okay,
but as far as his professional life is concerned, yeah,
the way it was worded, it sounded like that they were good when we liked them in movies, but then
no.
Then they became like
no. Yeah, it was like because of course Chevy Chase, who infamously like leaves Saturday Night Live after the first season and all this stuff, and is continually incredulous to why people perceive him that way. And you get to hear more about the Community story and about him being fired off that show and what happened. So anyway, they're both well done documentaries about people that you also go, oh man. Anyway, so those are my recommendations. A real run the gamut there with Corey Feldman versus the World and The Testament of Anne Lee.
Yeah, I won't. I would run the gamut too, but I am going to. I'll hold back because you had a lot there. Some of them overlap. I do want to see the Testament of Anne Lee, but I didn't catch it in theaters. I saw Sorry Baby and Begonia.
But
I'll just
I
add
mean,
that.
Testament of Anne Lee
Linda.
will probably still isn't even open near you, Matt.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's platforming. They're platforming that sucker.
But there were so I just want to say like the things I wanted to see and haven't yet. Like I want to see there were some things I wanted to see and I just couldn't. And everyone's like, this is one of the best movies of the year. And there's no way for me to see it. And I'm not saying like I live in the middle of nowhere and can't see it. Like it's not streaming or anything. It just premiered at a festival and it's on people's top 10 lists. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. You know, like it's just like one outing at it, like something. But like The Secret Agent and a horror movie called It Ends. And like there were a bunch of things I wanted to see and just couldn't because Eric just wasn't available at my fingertips, like all things should be because I'm entitled. Anyway, but yeah, I'll throw Begonia into the mix. Yes, and also second on Sorry Baby as well. It was in my top 5 of the year. I think I put up a top 20. And yes, no MCU actors are in Sorry Baby, unless that's Steve Rogers' baby. Then it's an MCU character. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, now I was trying to think if there was any MCU actors. There's not. I mean, there's Star Wars.
No one's in that movie.
There's a Star Wars actor, Naomi Aki. Well, you know who's in that is Lucas Hedges, who it turns out Timothy Chalamet did not murder years ago. Because remember when they were like neck and neck as like the new indie like hot, you know, like the next big thing in indie movies.
Someone said he murdered him.
My joke is that Timothy Chalamet murdered Lucas Hedges because they used to be competing as like they were in all the indie movies. They were both Lady Bird boyfriends, but then Timothy Chalamet clearly had like drowned Lucas Hedges somewhere and he disappeared.
Well, Lucas Hedges I know mostly from, I mean, yeah, Lady Bird and stuff like that, but like from a Joel Edgerton joint. Speaking of Train Dreams, which was my favorite movie of the year. Was in Boy Erased, which was written and directed by Joel Edgerton and starring Russell Crowe starring Joel Edgerton and Nicole Kidman. Wrong Aussie. Okay,
is that part of the Lucas Hedges trilogy that hasn't been finished yet? Because he's also in Honey Boy.
Yes.
So okay. Cool.
Yeah.
The Boy trilogy.
The Boy trilogy. And the boy and the Lady Bird is actually part of that trilogy. It's like the secret fourth movie.
Ooh, it's like the secret Stranger Things finale.
3 boys and a lady. Yeah. All right. Stranger Things fans are not okay. That's your takeaway from this episode.
Matt was stretching as he said that, by the way, for what he said.
I would hope that people thought that was a stretch noise and not, I don't know, anything else, but we'll see. Until next time, everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma.
Shakma!